And here we are at Ridgeview, home of the Warhawks. The kids are coming in, and we'll hear more from them. We love the natural sound. We're here in the cafeteria. Thanks to our friends at CapEd Credit Union. Todd Christian joining us now. How are you, sir?
Well, good. I'm glad that you say the kids are come in, and I feel like I'm one of those kids. That's nice for the intro there.
We're all young at heart here. You know, when we take a look at the area schools, and CapEd does so much for teachers and educators, it's amazing. You know, we have schools like Nampa and Boise that have been around forever, and then we have Ridgeview, year 2 of building a tradition. And we're going to see a lot more of these new schools popping up. We already are.
As we see the valley continue to grow, Ridgeview is an example of what's going to continue to occur. You've referenced earlier on the program that with Rocky that's just 9 years old. Mountain View, some similar time frame. As the valley continues to grow, we see good planning as it relates to location for elementary, middle school, high schools. This is a wonderful facility. It does sit kind of somewhat out here in the middle of nowhere, but that middle of nowhere will become a part of the valley very, very quickly.
Well, as you, my friend that has grown up in Idaho and lived in all parts of the state as opposed to good old Cape Millie, you can remember when Meridian was a lot less population than it is now. I can look at just the growth on Eagle Road, before Kleiner Park, before the Village. And, as Dr. Yamamoto said earlier today, you've got, 2 subdivisions with, almost 300 homes being built around here. It's just going on and on. So you're right. It's going to be a big population base.
Right. And as we see Star, Middleton, here in this portion of the valley, as we get closer to Caldwell, we don't want to say that it's inevitable, but the opportunities that are available in the great state of Idaho, what we have to offer here is going to continue to attract individuals and businesses.
So we're less than 3 years away from the newest census. Do you think we'll have 1 million people here right now in the Treasure Valley? It's a little about 670,000. Or will we get to 1 million or darn right close?
That sounds like a good crystal ball question. We'll see in 3 years.
Indeed. Let's talk about what's going on at CapEd. You're opening a new member convenience center at the crossroads of South Meridian and Overland. That will be Monday, November 13th.
Coming up real quick, we'll be opening that up on this Monday. We're relocating our location that's off of South Stratford over to the new location for convenience, and it's also incorporating new technology. Listening to you talk with the science teacher here about that connectivity, your visit to a local business, we like to share that it's a good connection and a good blend between technology and dedicated personal service.
Yeah, and again, you're over there by the Papa John's, the Carl's Jr.'s. You can
all in that area over there by Wahoo's and Kendall Ford. Yep,
Axiom. Yes, know that area very well. So let's talk about the floor plan because it's different.
It's an open floor plan. Some would liken it to an Apple store, very open. We have high-functioning ATMs that are there for the technology if you want to come in and do a quick transaction, either through the drive-through or inside the lobby. Come on in if you're wanting to have that in-person connection and have a conversation with a human being, as you've referenced earlier. Right. We have what we refer to as personal financial representatives there to serve you.
Well, that's the fascinating, I don't want to say struggle, we'll just say opportunity. When, do you have many people that they just like to talk to the ATM or they like to do the online stuff? I personally like to go into a financial institution and have a thing called a check and hand it to an individual.
Yeah, you're very tactile. You want to have that piece of paper, that comfort and security.
Right.
We understand that. And as we engage with our members, we understand that some folks are going to want to approach it one way. Another portion of either the generation or just somebody's adeptness at technology will want to approach it a different way. And we've worked to blend that so that we can service that spectrum.
Yeah, I'm still Mrs. Miller pulled the old take the automatic withdrawals out of my bank account for the mortgage payment.
She took your incentives away and took your funds away.
Because I like to have the little booklet. I like to pay it, and I like to go down, and it's fascinating how it's changing. But you really have to, you can't devalue, as much as we love technology, the innovations and the convenience, that personal relationship, knowing someone, whether you're going to CapEd, Credit Union, or somewhere else, that one-on-one relationship when you want a home loan, when you want a car loan or a business loan.
Technology makes it convenient rather. For us, we want to make sure there's a strong blend between that convenience and technology and that personal touch. And again, we invite individuals to come in and check out our new facilities. We have one off of Linder and McMillan. We refer to them as member convenience centers. One off of Linder and McMillan, one off of South 12th Avenue Road in Nampa, and then this is our third one with this model. And we're finding it highly attractive to individuals to come in and have that relationship, but also have access to technology.
Todd Christensen joining us from CapEd Credit Union here at KIDO Talk Radio from Ridgeview High School. Are you having trouble keeping up with the growth? Because, again, you're looking at Nampa, soon to be 100,000, Meridian, soon to be 100,000, Caldwell continuing to grow. We've talked about the growth in the Treasure Valley. And with that, again, we have cornfields here. A year from now, or maybe even the spring when we come back, we could have a dozen or so homes, cul-de-sacs and such. So you need your credit unions, you need your banks, you need your schools, you need a lot of things.
You need all of those services. For us as CapEd, we continue to look at the growth areas within our existing membership as well as the future opportunities. Will you see us continue to build branch and provide that service? Yes. We're dedicated to being with our members, being in our community, and serving our communities.
Let's talk a little bit about that time of year where you want to maybe spend a little extra, you want to go somewhere, money is tight. What's CapEd doing as far as helping folks when it comes to that monthly payment?
One of the elements that we've had as a tradition, and it's available to our members, is Skip-a-Pay. And that Skip-a-Payment is where for their auto or RV loan, not for mortgages, but for their car loans, they can take an opportunity to come in, work with us, or go online. Again, that blend between personal and technology, and skip a payment. And during this time of the year, whether it's for the holidays, needing some extra cash, or for an unforeseen emergency, they can skip that payment. They obviously have to have some qualifications that they have to meet, but then they can skip that payment.
And finally, a couple more things at Ridgeview High School, KIDO Talk Radio. The teacher or the school grants deadline's coming up, and how much money can a school get, and can any school apply?
Schools within regions 3 and 4, so here in southwest Idaho as well as southern Idaho, schools have an opportunity to apply for 4 $10,000 grants. So through the credit union and the Idaho CapEd Foundation, we're offering 4 $10,000 grants. This last year, we provided 2 $10,000 grants. With our continued growth and our commitment to, as I like to always share, it's more than banking, it's making a difference. And our membership truly supports education. We have an opportunity to do 4 of those $10,000 grants.
That's a lot of money. Now, finally, this is something that you kind of cajole me about. And you're right, we cover a lot of issues, but one of the things that we try and differentiate on this show is being for something, for the schools, for the community, for the service folks, the police, the veterans, and obviously for teachers. A teacher that made a difference in your life.
Teacher that made a difference in my life, I think of Mr. Kazir, Minico High School, government teacher as well as history teacher. He instilled in me that element of you should always participate in your constitutional republic and participate in that democracy. I can hear those words coming out of his mouth in that classroom that was 26, 27 years ago, just as if it were right now. And as we just come off an election here, and that conversations from your listeners of being engaged in your community. So he's an individual who had an enormous amount of influence in my life.
And if you would like to talk about a teacher that's made a difference in your life or salute a great teacher, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. For me, there are a few, probably my favorite teacher of all time, my second grade teacher, Sister Carol Joy.
Sister,
right. None.
All right, awesome.
And she was an art teacher, beautiful artist. I'm not, but just a lovely young lady. One of those individuals, regardless of who you run into life, that just cares about kids.
Right. And that's why we support this program and promote our schools, secure our future. You've talked to great teachers, great administrators. We hear a lot of challenges in the world, and there are challenges in the world, but we also see many great things that take place, and many of those take place in our local public schools as well as our charter schools.
Right, and we see that. We see private schools as well growing. It's amazing. Is it too late for us to go into teaching? I mean, you're already in education.
I think you have an opportunity to teach on the air here, and I appreciate the opportunity to encourage your listeners here to share who their favorite teachers are.
Todd, thank you.
Always a pleasure to be with you.
You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Boy, it's funny. You probably could hear that song as an oldie, Nirvana. Hard to believe that would be like on an oldie station if those existed. Kevin Miller in the morning here at KIDO Talk Radio, promoting our school, securing our future, brought to you by CapEd Credit Union and Team Mazda Subaru. Mr. Peyton Worley joining us, ASB President. Sir, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to.
You're the president. Are you going to spin us about the school? We're a cynical crew here on KIDO Talk Radio. What can you tell us about your facility here?
Well, we're definitely blessed to be here. It's a very nice facility, and I think we're definitely doing a lot of good things here. One thing that we try to bestow, like in the students, is
that happens to me all the time. If you want to take a sip, go ahead. If not, we'll continue on.
Okay, perfect. I think I'm good.
Okay.
One thing that we really try to bestow in the students is respect, honor, and service, and it kind of goes with our acronym of RHS. It's something that we push for in the classroom, in the community, and we really extend.
Now, really, you've got students.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys with your phones and your hair follicles that never end, and we're all envious of that, and the hormones running. You're talking about respect and honor and things that are in books today. You know how these curmudgeonly adults are, these kids today, but you're saying that happens here all the time at Ridgeview.
Exactly, and that's what we're pushing for. We want to show that it's not just something that's in the history. It's something that's happening today and what's happening with our future generation.
And why is that? Is it because of the name that you all feel like you have a special responsibility, a link to the past, or what, sir?
I think that plays a role into it. But really, when we think about it, we're going to be the future of this country and our community, so we really want to make it the best possible future for everybody.
Indeed. Now, let's talk about classes here. What classes do you like and why?
So I love government, which is kind of crazy to think about because there's a lot I still don't understand. And leadership's definitely one of my favorites.
Now, what about government do you like? You like paying taxes? Because you really haven't yet, but I'm telling you, I've done this whole show today on it's great to pay taxes. But what about government, the government class do you like, sir?
I just like learning about the government because there's still so much, like I said, that I don't understand. And I'm not saying by any means I know a good portion of it. But I like understanding kind of politics and kind of and I like to see where our country's kind of going and what our foundation's built off of.
Sure, the whole history that you have this group of individuals come together and, we're their descendants today. It is amazing. Have you thought about what you're going to do when you graduate?
I do, or I have. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to go to Boise State for my undergrad. I'm going to get it in biology, and then I plan on going to med school.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on. I asked the tough questions here. You're going to get a degree in biology, but you like government. How does that make sense?
I like government. I like being caught up in understanding. But for my future, I see myself in the medical field. I think the human body is awesome. I love anatomy. And I love kids, so I plan on going into pediatrics.
Wow, what a blessed calling for you. That's amazing to have the skills to be able to do it and to know what you want at such a young age. That's amazing. So you're going to go to Boise State, then med school and everything else.
Yep.
You've got your future planned out.
Yeah, and I know it's definitely subject to change, but that's kind of the direction I plan on heading and where I want to go.
What's it like to be here at year 2, again, in comparison to other schools in 4A that, that have been around, whether it's BK, whether it's Middleton, whether it's CUNA, whether it's any of these schools? Now, what's it like to you are establishing a legacy, the foundation that 10, 20, 30 years from now, they'll be talking about, year 2, year 1.
Exactly. So it's a big task, bigger than I think most people see it. This year's definitely easier than last, but we are still in the process of laying down the groundworks. And we really want to do it right in the beginning years so that we don't have a problem in the future that we're trying to fix.
Indeed. Anything else you'd like to share with us?
I believe I'm good. I just want to say thank you again for giving us this opportunity.
Well, thank you. Maybe when you're elected mayor, or congressman, you could say you started your career with us.
Maybe I'll have to.
Hopefully, I'll be retired by then. Probably not. I'll still be working, but and your taxes will be funding my retirement. See, that's how it works, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. 580-5436-580-KIDO. We're at Ridgeview High School, promoting our schools, securing our future, home of the Warhawks. Time for traffic and weather together. Let's go to Diana in Nampa with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio, where we're talking about our favorite educator, our favorite teacher. Good morning, Diana. All right, Diana, thank you very much for the call. We appreciate it. We are taking your calls about your favorite educator. If you'd like to sound off on that, we're at Ridgeview High School. Also, some other topics we'll get to. Certainly, the reaction continues over the shooting in Texas, the idea of handgun legislation. We'll get to that at 580-5436-580-KIDO. But again, I love it when we're in a crowded area, and that's where we are. It's festive here as the kids get ready, the students get ready to start the day, the faculty as well. It's nothing like natural sound on the radio. Just our, how should we put that, just as our way of saying thank you for the community for having us, to the community for having us here. Last night's election results, not a big voter turnout time, but you've got a new mayor in Nampa, the same mayor in Caldwell, and looks like the city of Boise is, surprise, surprise, voted for more taxes. That's why you see the growth in other areas throughout the Treasure Valley. The president is in Korea, where he had some interesting, how should I put this, interactions with the South Koreans.
Hours after aborting his attempt to visit the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, because of bad weather, the president had a direct message for North Korea and its leader, Kim Jong-un.
We will not permit America or our allies to be blackmailed or attacked. We will not allow American cities to be threatened with destruction.
The president, now in Beijing for a 2-day visit, will press Chinese President Xi to take a harder line on Pyongyang, which depends on China for 90% of its trade. In Seoul, South Korea, John Decker, Fox News.
And Kevin Miller with you here at 580-5436-580-KIDO. You know, just hearing from John Decker, and by the way, we had John on live from Seoul, South Korea. We're going to do our very best to get him on live tomorrow. And we're blessed to be the only radio station in the Treasure Valley to have access to our Fox News reporters. And it was educational to hear what John was talking about being in South Korea. Now, again, we, like we do with a lot of our allies, we pay for their defense and such, but their infrastructure, their technology is so much more advanced than here in our great nation. You talk about their Wi-Fi, their internet is 8 times faster than ours. That's right, 8 times faster than ours. And really that's one of the reasons why the president was elected, was to make America great again. So as we're dealing with our adversaries, we're also dealing with technology, the electrical grid, making America modern. And I think that's where Congress and the administration needs to come together. Now we're talking about tax reform and everything else, but, you know, as we're spending so much money overseas, you know, what about redirecting that money to our country, right? Like a Marshall Plan for America, redoing the beautiful interstate highway system, obviously updating the grid, other issues that we've kind of put off that we need to take advantage of and get those things rolling. Our population is increasing, not only in the Treasure Valley, but across the country. So let's hope and let's direct our politicians, because election season is coming. What are you doing as far as, you know, creating a greater infrastructure, not just during the presidential season, but throughout, everything else. Let's go to Diana one more time with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Diana.
Good morning. Can you hear me this time?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, good. I can hear you, and I apologize for my phone problems this morning. When you asked for a wonderful teacher, I had to call you. I have 5 children, and our family has been greatly blessed by the calculus teacher that they went to at Meridian High School. Her name is Lannis Hall. My son that was at college in the accounting program at BYU even came home and got tutored by her. She was just fantastic. She explained concepts so wonderfully. So now all of my children have graduated from college except the youngest that she's a senior right now and in college. And it's just amazing to me how this woman would take them into her home, do private groups that she'd have pizza, and she'd teach these kids calculus in a way that they just, even with advanced calculus, like I said, in college, my son came back and he said, I'm not getting this concept, and she just cleared it up so fast. And I'm so grateful to her for the impact she had on all of my children graduating from college, and this last one on her last year. She's just an amazing person, an amazing teacher, and I'm so grateful for the years we had at Meridian High School with Lannis Hall.
Well, and really those unsung heroes that make a difference daily, what else can we say about them? I mean, these are people that, they don't get the headlines.
They don't. And, their pay isn't the pay of engineers, She helped my son become an engineer. I mean, she just is an amazing person, and there's so many like her.
And what was her name again?
Her name is Lannis, Lannice, Hall, Hall.
And she teaches at Meridian High School?
My kids are now out of high school. I don't know if she stayed at Meridian, but the whole time all 5 of my children were there, she was at Meridian High School. I would be surprised if she's not still there, but I could find out and call you back. I've got her number, but she is just, wherever she is, she's blessing lives. I know that.
Well, thank you very much, Diana. We appreciate you, and thanks for calling us back.
Thank you for letting me share about her. She really impacted our family's lives. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller from Ridgeview High School, promoting our school, securing our future, thanks to CapEd Credit Union and Team Mazda Subaru. Let's find out what's going on in your world. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning.
And we continue on from Ridgeview High School. Ian Brickey joins us now, the activities coordinator. Ian, good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about some of the activities for the students here at Ridgeview.
We have the opportunity to do a lot of service-oriented things, such as the blood drive we just did, and we actually just started a canned food drive as well. In addition to that, we're going to be doing a couple other things throughout the year.
Well, how important is it for the canned food drive?
For us, it's been pretty important. It's something that, as National Honor Society, we've kind of taken as our project, and although it's kind of just beginning, I think we're all seeing the importance of it, even as early as it is.
Well, describe that.
Well, me personally, I've had an opportunity to work with people who are in need of that sort of thing. So being able to work with them and seeing their needs and things like that, and then being able to come back here and be able to try and make a difference for them, it's been a really cool experience.
When we talk about people that need the canned food, when you see that, what goes on in your mind? Does it make you appreciate what you have?
Oh, definitely, for sure. I think I've been very fortunate in my life to not have need for those things, but I think one of the most important things about that is being able to give back to others.
And you realize that at such a young age. Wow.
Yeah, it's something that my parents have always kind of impressed in me, I guess.
Sure. So academics, what's your day like?
It's pretty rough. Not as bad as it was last year, but I do take as many advanced classes as I can, trying to get myself ahead for college and things like that. But it's always something, again, that's been important to me.
So your favorite topic, what would that be? Your favorite subject? Do you have one?
Yeah, I really like health sciences, things like that, like my medical terminology class. That's always been a really interesting subject for me. It's
medical terminology?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you give us a couple terms that no one will know unless they're in that field would know what they are?
You're putting me on the spot, but...
Hey, We asked the rough questions here. Maybe if you could think about that, we'll come back to that. What will be the legacy of the first, 5 or 10 years of this school, in your opinion? When you're, 20, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, what do you think you'll remember about being one of the first generations here?
Definitely being able to start a legacy. I was a member of the football team, and being able to start, just simple things like chants or pregame warm-ups, things like that, where we get to have the opportunity to start them and make it brand new ourselves. And I think what I hope is the school kind of has a reputation for maybe being a school of respect and service to the community.
Right. We agree with that. Ian, anything else you'd like to share with us?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. By the way, thank you for that reminder. Our cash code word for this hour is funds. Funds. We continue on here from Ridgeview High School. Kevin Miller in the morning at KIDO Talk Radio. Here's the latest on what happened to Senator Paul.
There's no official word on what triggered the attack on Rand Paul, allegedly by his neighbor, which left the senator with 5 broken ribs and injuries to his lungs. But a man who knows them both says the two have a history filled with years of petty arguments over misplaced lawn trimmings and branches. Jim Skaggs, developer of their gated community in Kentucky, telling the Louisville Courier-Journal defendant Rene Boucher was a near-perfect neighbor. As for the politician, Skaggs says he was probably the hardest person to encourage to follow regulations. A longtime friend of the senator saying he's never heard of Boucher, and if there was some kind of ongoing rift, he wasn't aware of it. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
Crazy. You think that you're a senator, you're a doctor, you're going to live in a neighborhood where someone doesn't tackle you from behind while you're mowing your lawn. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let's go to Big John in Meridian with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Big John.
Hello, Kevin. Regarding your earlier caller, Diana, that mentioned Lannis Hall, yes, she is still at Meridian High School. I happen to know her. She goes to the same LDS ward that I do. So,
well, what went on in your mind when you heard that? Just the raving results about a young lady that makes a difference.
Oh, it's great. It's tremendous. Anyway, but I wanted to comment on something. I listened to Blair's comments both yesterday live and today on the replay, and he gave he did call out that lady that said, okay, there's limits on the First Amendment, so therefore there's got to be limits on the Second Amendment. Well, when she says that, she's not comparing apples to apples, and as long as that guy, Devin Kelly, goes in there with an assault rifle, if he can do that, then the good guy, good people need to be able to go in there with an assault rifle to neutralize him. And had there been that situation, of course, it would have been an entirely different story. Or had the guy with the rifle that eventually took him down happened to have been in the building and, or would have been able to get to his gun and take the guy out before he shot all those people, it would have been hugely different.
Well,
anyway.
And when did you hear someone like the president say those things? I don't think we would hear that from former President Obama or former President Bush.
No, you wouldn't. Well, you for sure wouldn't hear it from Hillary. You need a guy like Trump. I mean, thank goodness he's our, we've got him in the office. He's there now. Yeah, we wouldn't hear that from Bush. So, we're just lucky that Trump won the election.
Well, it would be a different world if he hadn't.
Absolutely, and Kevin. So you're going to be at the Napa Walmart on Garrity there next week.
Yep,
correct?
We'll be there once again, moving in on Monday.
All right. Well, I'll see you sometime next week.
Well, we always appreciate you swinging in and your kind words and generous donations, Big John. So thank you very much. We look
you
forward
betcha.
to it.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Okay, sir.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Our friend Big John joining us, and he was referencing Miller's Mission, where we Move into the Walmart in Nampa on Garrity and Franklin, and we ask you to give a turkey, not be a turkey. And if you go to KIDOTalkRadio.com right now, you'll see our latest video with the esteemed Reverend Bill Roscoe of the Boise Rescue Mission, where Reverend Bill and I, once again, partake in the modern-day version of the Roadrunner and the Coyote, the Turkey and the Pilgrim. And you'll get to see what it's like to work in the well-regarded, the esteemed broadcast center. We have some of our partners, the FM folks. We're being diplomatic. We'll leave it at that. They've appeared in our video. And also a cameo from Jeff the Suit. Our purpose is certainly to make you laugh, but to laugh for a good cause and to remind you, we'd love for you to donate a turkey next week. Also, if you can't make it, you can go to any Walmart in the Treasure Valley, grab something called a turkey buck. It's basically a piece of paper, and for $15, you can feed a Treasure Valley family at any Walmart, thanks to the Boise Rescue Mission and our partners at KTSY Radio. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. And we've got a few minutes left. A young man by the name of Dylan joins us now. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good.
So your dad's a pretty famous guy on our show, Brian from Nampa.
Yep. I'm his son. So everything that he says, I hear. And every morning I wake up to the sound of Kevin Miller. So I kind of learned to gain this appreciation for the radio.
Well, we appreciate that. I was going to say, so you wake up and then you have to hear Kevin Miller. Is that a good thing? Or
sometimes it's a little bit of both. Sometimes it's like, it's Kevin Miller. And then other times I'm like, it's Kevin Miller. It's great to hear in the morning. And it's a great thing to wake up to. It's very informational. I like it because it's kind of that unique flavor that you get in the morning that you don't anywhere else.
Well, we need to put you on the promo. Thank you. Dylan, tell us a little bit about your life here at Ridgeview, your thoughts on being here, year 2 of a school that, it's in its second year. That's quite a neat thing.
So, to start off, I was a sophomore here last year, so I've got to see the school, built and everything. I would say it's one of the better schools I've been to. It's really nice. The teachers, they really know how to teach you. They're good teachers. The atmosphere here is very unique in the fact that they've really got that sense of respect and honor down. When there is a problem, they deal with it fairly quickly, and other than that, it's good.
You want to say hello to your dad at all?
Hey, Dad.
And any thoughts on what you're going to do when you graduate here, sir?
I'm still not quite sure. I was thinking maybe I could go into the Air Force or become a pilot of some kind.
Right.
Other than that, maybe just a family man, get married. I'll be going on my mission when I turn 18 for 2 years, so that's good.
So you've got most of at least the next few years mapped out, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad one of us does. Anything else you'd like to share with us, Dylan? We appreciate you swinging in and making the effort to speak with us this morning.
Yeah. So there's one thing I would like to. So I figured out this analogy in English when I wrote this essay, and I'd like to kind of put school in this analogy. And this analogy I like to call it is the candles in the mist. So the way this analogy works is, imagine yourself in a field, and it's dark, and there's mist everywhere, and the mist represents the confusion of this world. And these candles that you will find laying around represent the truths that you will find. As you find these truths, you will be able to find more because your light grows brighter. There will be people that you will find that need your help, and you can light their candle. And then there's also the people that will seek to put out your candle. And I like this analogy because it can apply to everything, and school is one of the best examples.
It's pretty profound for a sophomore, right?
No, junior.
Junior, wow. You were a sophomore here in year 1.
Yeah.
See, I'm a little slow on the uptake, but
that's okay.
That's great for anybody. Boy, thank you for that analogy, Dylan. Take care of yourself.
Yep, you too.
Tell your dad we said hello, would you?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Let's get you to traffic and weather together. Getting back to the First Amendment, by the way, we'll take more of your phone calls at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Getting back to the First Amendment here, because a lot of people are talking about it. It's interesting that a story that's burning up the Internet, and if it's on the Internet, it must be true, of a person who was riding their bike, and she gave the president's motorcade a one-finger salute in Northern Virginia. Now, it wasn't a 20-something. It wasn't a 30-something or even a 40-something. It was someone who was 50 years old. That's right, 50 years old. Her name, Julie Briskman. She says she was protesting the President of the United States, so she flipped him the bird. Good times. Well, apparently, somebody found out who she was, and they fired her. And they told her it violated her company's code of conduct policy at Akima. They didn't return calls requesting comments. They said, look, the idea that you're doing this is a violation of their activity clause that says anything discriminatory, obscene, malicious, or threatening, knowingly false, you're subject to discipline up to termination. It is amazing. Now, some people are calling this young lady a victim, but who in their right mind? And again, maybe we've all lost our minds in the hyper-caffeinated, over-cholesterol-induced society that we live in, right? At 580-5436, 580-KIDO, would, as a presidential motorcade is passing you, would in fact flip them off? I just don't get it. I think it's rather silly when you're thinking about it, when you're thinking about these sort of things, and there are consequences. You know, the NFL players like to say that it's about the First Amendment, but it really wasn't about the First Amendment for Tim Tebow when he was praying, and people criticized him for that. Or the First Amendment when people want to, salute the flag, or if you want to bring in, the Confederate flag or something else, the First Amendment would go away. And as I've argued many times, that when you are an employee of a group, you have to represent said values of that organization. You have to represent and understand that anything you can say or do, whether it's in person or on that silly social media, can get you. And maybe it's because we as broadcasters, most of us, have to sign something called a morality clause, that even if you're not convicted, if you're just accused of something, that is subject for termination. That's just how it is, and I've lived with that for over 23 years of doing a daily talk show. It's just how it is. But I can't get over someone that has such a big issue, and whether you're a fan of Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama, and you're in your 50s, that you would, give these folks the one-finger salute. Now, should they be fired? There was someone in Clemson, South Carolina, a student body president that dissed the national anthem. And in South Carolina, I'd say they and Alabama are probably the most socially, and Mississippi perhaps, the most socially conservative states in the country. The kid got booted from school, lost his position because of that. People don't play when we're talking about values. But getting back to this, at 580-5436, should this person have lost their job? In my opinion, yes. You don't disrespect the President of the United States, no matter who that is. You don't sit there and do those sorts of things. Whether you respect that individual or not, there has to be respect for the office. Now, people are saying that this lady is a victim. With all due respect, I think we're all victims. I'm a victim because, of how I look or my educational background or lack thereof or something of that nature. You're a victim. We can all, and this is where we have to get un-PC'd in our country today. We can all be victims, or we can all be champions and coming back and owning things. When you make a mistake, I did it. I'm sorry. And not the disingenuous sorry, but really having regret, right? And that empathy and humility. Those aren't going to get you the headlines or the story on the TV, but the real heroes, like the Meridian physics teacher, like the teacher that we heard about today that's teaching folks calculus and stuff at her own cost. Those are the ones that make a difference, and we salute you. Good day. God bless. Thank you, Ray Amaya. Thank you, George. Thank you, Ridgeview High School. Keep the faith, everyone.